going on, guys? Thank you for joining me for this look at the Transformers 4 Age of Extinction Deluxe Class Strafe. Now, everyone knows that this guy's real name is Swoop, but for the movie, he's called Strafe. Packaged in robot mode, I've done a little bit of retransforming of him back into the way he should look. He is pretty mistransformed in the robot or in the packaging in robot mode, but it's nothing that like a minute or so won't fix. The overall robot mode is quite nice looking. I do like the robot mode a lot, and it's pretty obvious that he's going to transform into a flying dinosaur. Now, you can pose him a couple of different ways. This is the way I like to pose him, but according to the directions, you're supposed to fold the wings up and then kind of fold them behind the robot mode like this. So they form this kind of hang glidery like backpack. And that's the way the directions say you're supposed to have him. But you can have him any way you want him. You can pose him with the wings out or the wings folded. Either way, doesn't really matter. His overall look in robot mode, as I said, is pretty good. Posability is a little bit on the iffy side, simply because of the nature of the heaviness of the wings. Head is on a ball joint, moves up and down. Shoulders are on a hinge, or a swivel here, or I should say a series of swivels and hinges. Swivel above the elbow, over a 90-degree bend at the elbow. Hands are a little weird. They look like they're going to have some movement, but they really don't have much at all. They just have some up and down movement, even though the forearms are actually hollow. That would indicate to me that they're supposed to fold up into the forearms for the transformation. They do not. The double dino heads in robot mode are supposed to sit on the chest at angles, but you could have them pointing straight down or any way you want. There is torso articulation, ball joint in the hip, swivel above the knee bends at a good almost 90-degree angle, and that's it. Now, in this mode, as I was saying, dino heads are not locked in any way, unfortunately. Also, the wings, if you move the arms, the wings have a tendency to move as well because they're attached to the same pin that the arms are. Also, the dino tails, or twin tails, are just big pieces of rubber. In all honesty, they could have cut these things off and saved the money. They are supposed to be posable, like up and down, but it really doesn't help because in the packaging, they're twisted at such an angle that they are not going to go straight no matter how much you try. You might be able to hammer out the pin and then put them in boiling water to straighten them out, but that's not going to help much at all, really. I absolutely love Strafe's head sculpt. This is such a nice head sculpt. It looks like a kind of like a combination between a Roman gladiator and an ancient medieval knight with a giant crest on his head. Of all the Dinobots, all the Dinobots except for Grimlock have really fantastic head sculpts. Simple, but really neat. The figure comes with a couple of accessories. First up are these two swords, which are pretty neat. They're stored in the wings in robot mode or in beast mode, and then you can hand carry them in use for robot mode. He also comes with this crossbow that is a piece of junk. Every time I try to fire it, it just goes, well, maybe a couple of inches, and then it has a tendency to fall apart really easily. And it actually can be taken apart very easily. You just get your nails in there and lift up, and it'll just come apart. So I don't really care for the crossbow, even though it does look like a bat, but I like the swords. Posing Strafe is a bit tricky simply due to the overall top heaviness of the figure, but you can get some okay poses. My only real, truly big complaint with this figure in robot mode is that the way his arms are designed. You see how it can do a curl, but he can't turn his wrist. So you have to pretty much keep his either arm straight out, or you can curl it in like that, but otherwise he holds things sideways. It's just weird. I really wish they kind of did a little bit something different with the wrists, but oh well, I guess I can always customize it then. Strafe's transformation is pretty darn easy. To start with, take the head and push it down into the chest. take the dino heads and fold them out, and they will snap onto the black stalks, though very loosely, and then fold them to the side and bring them up to where the head of the robot mode was. Once you do that, that actually locks the robot head into place when you bring the two dino heads up. Take the arms and put them out to the pegs on the outside of the wings, and they will peg into the wings. Again, I wish the hands would roll up or fold up into the forearms. They don't. Oh well. So you kind of get this weird crucifixion look. Take the legs, or the lower legs, and twist them 180 degrees at the swivel, and then fold them up into place, and they will actually peg into the back sides of the robot legs. Fold out the dino feet, and you're done. Now, you can add the swords to the bottom or to the back of the wings, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really affect the look all that much. Now, you can also take the crossbow and plug that into the hole into the back. I prefer not to because I think that looks ridiculous. I am not a huge fan of Strafe in Beast Mode. Of all the Dinobots, I think his Beast Mode is the weakest, especially without a stand. You really need some kind of stand, either one of the SH Figuarts stands or one of the Figma stands to make this figure really something neat. And just having him stand on the ground looks really bad. But if you have some kind of stand where you can pose him on, then the figure's going to look better, because let's face it, he's meant to be a flyer, or he is a flyer, and that's where he's going to look the best. And I don't know, just the double head of the Dino mode is just plain weird to me. I get what they're going for. I don't really think he needed two Dino heads. Just strange. Overall, though, it feels kind of flimsy and fidgety, especially these tails. They don't pose at all, and I get what they're going for, but it's just not really working for me. Love the robot mode. Dino mode, not so much. Overall, Strafe isn't too bad. He's got an okay transformation. The Dino mode isn't that great. I prefer the other Dinobots to Strafe, but the robot mode's really good. I like the robot mode a lot. I think it's just neat and unique. Vehicle mode. Beast mode, take it or leave it. Honestly, not a huge fan, but like I said, I think the robot mode is something really kind of nifty. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video review of Deluxe Class Strafe from Transformers Age of Extinction. As usual, I'm Baltmatrix, and I'll catch you next time.